Hello, my name is Kipp. I work in post-sales technical support, and today we'll be going over the initial commissioning of a Tritex 2 linear actuator. We're going to start with hooking up the power and the communications cable. To begin, we're going to have to remove the 4 screws and remove the top drive plate, which will allow us to get to the power connections. So we'll go ahead and remove the 4 screws, remove the plate, and below here we will have 3 connections. We will have a ground connection, which will be the green and yellow wire, which will go to the PE connections on the power module. The L1 and L2 connections can be hooked up to the blue and the brown wire. It does not matter which one you hook to L1, L2, just that you hook those up. The second part is going to be hooking up the communications cable, which is called the T2 USB 485 cable. This cable will also, on the other end, will be attached to your laptop or PC with a USB connection. I will now go to the laptop and show you where to acquire the USB driver and the expert software on my PC. All right, we are now on the Exlar website, which is www.exlar.com. Once you get to the website, you may need to quickly register. After you're done registering, you then can search, which I recommend to do, search for expert software and go ahead and click enter. And you will want to download this link here that says expert software. After that is downloaded, you'll then want to search again. This time we're going to get the USB driver. There will only be one link for this, and this you will also want to download. Once these 2 items are installed, we are going to now be ready to start the expert software and begin the connection process. All right. Once we have the expert software downloaded and the USB driver downloaded, the next thing we're going to want to do is verify our COM port. This is important because it will ensure that we get a solid connection with the expert software to the Tritex. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go into your device manager. And once you're in your device manager, the first thing you want to look for is ports. What we want to do is look for a USB serial port. It'll be in my particular case, it's COM3. So a lot of times what I like to do is verify that COM port by unplugging so I can see it disappear and plug back in to then verify the COM port that it is. And once it returns, I will then see that it is COM port 3. So now I have verified which COM port I am using. Now that I've verified my COM port, it is now possible for me to go to the expert software knowing that I have COM3 and begin the connection process. All right, so now I open my Tritex software, and the first thing we're going to want to do once we have the expert software open is start a new application that matches the Tritex that you have. And we do this by going to File, New, Application. And at this point is when you're going to want to reference the label that is on your Tritex to make sure you pick the correct drive series. Option board and application template is your choice. In my particular case, I have a AC230 Tritex 90, so I will choose that as my first selection for drive series. I also have an SIO option board, so I will select that. And for the purposes of this training, we will be using the generic template. At that point, you do have the option of naming your application whatever you would like, and after that, you can hit OK. Once you hit OK, you'll have another pop-up screen that comes up. This is where you're able to choose a save location for your application. I'm just going to use the default. And I click OK to finish that, and I will overwrite my existing application. Now the new application has loaded that matches my Tritex. Now we are going to be able to use the COM port that we verified earlier to get the connection with our Tritex. To do that, we are going to open the Network Manager dialog box, which can be accessed by the little 2-computer icon here that I just clicked on. Once you click that, the Network Manager window will pop open. The first thing that I would have you do is remove all networks. Then we will add a network. We are adding a Modbus RTU network. Another pop-up window will come up that is called Modbus Network Properties. we will click the RS485 serial tab and select our COM port. That is done by going to Communications Port Name, click the down arrow, which you will then be able to select COM3 as we saw in the device manager. The baud rate, the parity, and the stop bits and extra frame delay can all be left at the default settings. Click OK. Now we are going to be able to click Scan Network. This will go ahead and scan for the active drive that is out there, which it found. After that is done, you can close your network manager and then click the Scans for Online Applications to finish the connection. After that is done, you should now see Active Online down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and now your USB cable should be flashing green and orange actively. Once you have completed that connection, you are now able to go ahead and try to enable your actuator. When you enable your actuator, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to see some status pop up down on your status screen, which is at the lower part of the Expert software, and now you'll see that it says Home Required. The first thing that you're going to want to do once you see Home Required is click the Define Home function, which is done on the input function control, same as the Enable Maintain that we clicked earlier. We're going to click Define Home because that sets the current position that the Tritex is at as the home position and gets us past this need to give a home to the Tritex. So I will define home for the actuator now. You will notice that the status of your Tritex has changed to Enable. This now gives us the ability to verify motion on our Tritex, and I will do that now by using the jog plus and jog minuses, which will allow the Tritex to extend and to retract. And as you can see, as I'm jogging forward, the position of my actuator is changing as I hold the jog plus. And when I click jog minus, now the actuator is returning back to its old home location. Okay, now that we've verified that jog is functioning, you are now ready to set up your application.